The focus of session 9 is entitled Stress and Crisis. So when we think about sociology of the family, stress and crisis involving family units is one thing that is pretty common. So we oftentimes see family units go through extenuating circumstances that sometimes cause the family unit to break up and separate, or we see things such as natural disasters that really put undue stress on the family and the family unit and all the people within the family. So that's what we are reviewing this week. When we look at our assigned reading, we will see that chapter 14 and the majority of chapter 14 needs to be read this week. There are a few pages at the very back of chapter 14 that talks about therapy and counseling that can be reviewed if you're interested in reading, but it does not specifically apply to the section lecture notes. So when you are watching the video for the lecture, you can choose to read those or not. So reviewing the concepts in chapter 14, and then we will begin with our ABCX model journal. The journal this week is pointing you back to your textbook to reread the section that starts on page 297 and finishes on 298. And then you'll be asked to watch this video that discusses the ABCX model of family crisis. When you have finished rereading that small section in the textbook and watching the video, you are going to copy and paste the information between the dotted lines of the journal entry. We're going to click Start or Edit My Journal Entry, and then you are going to paste into the entry box. Number 1 asks you to identify and explain the components of the ABCX model of family stress. And so you will do that here by identifying what A would mean in the model. You would do the same thing for B, C, and X, making sure that you're turning your responses into a different colored font. Number 2 is going to ask you to identify an event that has been or could be a family crisis for your own family unit. So you're going to identify that event, give some information and a few details about that event, and then you are going to explain that event thoroughly utilizing the ABCX model. So you're going to take your event and you are going to explain it by putting the pieces and parts of the event into the categories A, B, C, and X. Once you have completed all of that, making sure that you have proofread and your information is top-notch college material, you can hit the blue Save Changes button. The Session 9 lecture notes will be as they have been in the last few weeks. Miss Guy has recorded a video guide for you to kind of review the concepts in the textbook while you complete the lecture notes. Remember, you'll be asked to make a copy of the template. And then finally, the stage 1 of your final project is due in session 9. So remember, our final project work has come in and taken over and replaced our writing assignments for each week. Last week in session 8, you were exposed to the final project, stage 1. There were directions and a video. And so you should have already begun the work in this project. You should not be now just seeing this or reviewing this or getting started working on this. This is the submission link for the final project stage 1. So you will actually submit here in this box. Keep in mind that final project stage 1 has to do with identifying a topic and rereading the chapter that correlates to that from your textbook. Remember, you will identify a topic and the chapter that it correlates with. You will create test questions from the textbook, and then you will figure out a social problem that is relating to that topic, and you are going to explore that social problem pretty in depth in the coming weeks. So pick something that you want to learn more about. And then finally, once you've identified that social problem, you are going to spend a large amount of time in the theories of sociology and applying them to the social problem you have selected. This is going to require a good amount of reading and research, and so I want you to make sure that you have budgeted enough time this week to get this particular final project stage 1 complete. If you have additional questions while you are working on wrapping up the final project stage 1, please reach out.